Hi, Enis from Never Stop Trucking here. Today I decided to read more of your comments and your questions and then try to answer them, keep them coming, and I'll answer as many as I can and as much as I can. You know, if I don't know something, then I'm just gonna tell you I don't know anything about that, but I'll try to answer these questions. So I have some here on YouTube comments, and then I have some in my email, so I'll try to answer them all today. So let's go. Now, first question here from Julio is how hard is to manage all your truck and the book's GPS and checking the hours left for them, and do you also have them to get a quick mechanic on the road if something happens to the truck? This all depends on how many trucks you're running. I don't run many trucks. I have only 4, and for me it's like I'm usually busy in the morning, but then in the afternoon it gets slower. So in the afternoon I can do invoices, payroll, you know, bookkeeping, stuff like that. But in the morning I solely concentrate on finding loads. And then if someone happens to need a mechanic, then I would look it up too, and then maybe I could do a video about that. Depends how many trucks you have. Like some big companies, they have a lot of trucks, and it's you know, much harder to deal with 10 trucks at the same time. But then usually they would have dispatchers who only dispatch, and then they would have someone who is always looking for a service. You know, if drivers needs something like that, they always refer to that guy because he has the experience, and then that's his job. Here in a small environment, when I'm by myself, I do everything myself, and it's really not hard at all. Do you do training of dispatchers? I don't do any kind of training. I am hoping to make a video about that, and then I'm still debating with myself how that will work. So hopefully I'll have that out soon. But no, I don't have anything like that. Would you think it would be worth for me to do this on the side? I have a full-time job from home, and my dad, who is a truck driver, wants me to be his dispatcher since the one he had was stealing from him. I want to do it, but I don't know if it will be worth it. And then here in the next comment, she said that he would pay her 8%. And then another question, how long should it take to learn everything before I can actually start dispatching for him? And how many hours on average does it take for just one driver a day? Is it worth it with one truck? Yes. Especially if you're going to be doing this on the side. So if you have a full-time job, and then you actually have availability as far as time goes, like if you have to go out and take a break and, you know, do this on the side, then yes. If you have a full-time job and you're working somewhere where they don't let you do anything like that, like in an office or outside factory, you know, restaurant, I don't think this would really work for you. If they, you know, your company policy, your boss, they don't let you do this, because you can't look for loads, even for one truck, because you have to look for a load probably almost every day, and then if something happens, they need a pickup number, you know, you have to dispatch the driver, he can find it, you know, a lot can happen, and you're not there to help the driver. That's the reason why you cannot do it like that. If you have a job, if you're working from home, or if you have a job that's very flexible, like flexible hours, and you can go out sometimes, you can take a quick break, you can talk on the phone while you're doing something, then yeah, it would probably be possible, because I know a lot of people who started just like that. So it would be possible, and yes, you could make some money. Well, let's say your driver makes 4 to, I don't know, 6,000-7,000 gross in a week. So for you, if he's paying you 8%, if he makes $4,000 a week, that's $320 for you. If he makes $6,000 a week, that's $480 for you. So think about it. You know, another $300, $400, $500 additional a week, it adds up. You know, it's $20,000, $25,000 a year. That's a lot of money. Yes. How long should it take? It's not gonna take long. Especially because it's like if this is a relative for you or a friend, or even if they're not, you know, if they're willing to teach you a little bit, you know, you don't need a lot, like maybe a week or two, and then they can walk you through it. They will tell you how to call loads, how to negotiate, like which areas they like, and then you will make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, but after a couple of weeks you're gonna get better. After a couple of months you're gonna get much better. After a year you'll be all set. It passes quick. You can maybe watch some YouTube videos, take a course, you know, read a book, whatever you need to learn, and then yes, you can learn. If you're willing to learn, yes, you can learn. And then how many hours on average does it take just for one driver a day? I would say 1 to 2 hours for one driver. That's what it takes a day. Sometimes it might be less, sometimes it'd be more, but on the average, maybe like 1 to 2, maybe 1 hour a day, I would say, for the average for one truck. If you have a picky driver that turns down 10 loads and it's hard to find him a load, then that's a different story. Then you need a lot of more time, and then you would have to talk to the driver, tell him, hey, you know, I really want to cover you, but you gotta become less picky. You know, just do the load, do whatever is out there. You know, if the board is looking okay, there are a lot of loads to pick from, then yeah, we can, you know, pick something. But if there's nothing and you want to go, you want to make money, you better take something. So if the driver is not that picky, then yeah, you don't need a lot of time to cover that driver. To make drivers more happy, have intermodal terminal or yards all over the country, and you can get drivers in every state home every night and make $20+ an hour. This will keep CSA down and keep emissions down and save a ton of money. I agree 100%. The only thing is that more than 90%, I think like 95% of trucking companies in the United States are very small companies, like 1 to 5 trucks, and we can't have terminals all over the country. It's not gonna work for us. Big companies, they can afford it and they have that, and that makes sense. But if you're just starting out, or if you're watching these videos, you're probably not in one of those big companies. You're trying to do something on your own. You're trying to learn something. You're probably very small. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. But for most of us, that's not gonna work. Why don't you speak to your drivers before looking for loads? You miss loads because you don't know what your carrier wants. Well, I think he's kind of mixing up, because I'm not a dispatching company. I am a trucking company, and I have my own trucks, my own owner-operators who drive under my authority. And with owner-operators, I know them. I know what they want and what they don't want. And that's how I look for loads. And even before I book a load, and I still call them and ask them if they want the load. With my own trucks, I don't ask them because they're my trucks. I can send them wherever I want. Of course, I don't send them where the driver does not like to go, and I know the areas that they don't like, so I don't even look for loads to go there. But yeah, usually if you're a dispatching company, then you of course have to ask whoever you work with, like the carrier or the owner operator. You ask them in advance where do they want to go. Do you track your drivers through a software? And then I said I use Keep Tracking ELD, but then he says, okay, but this is for drivers. Can you tell it how to use a dispatcher? I have a video for that, and I left it here in the comment, and then I'll try not to forget and leave it in description here about Keep Tracking. I use that, and then as an admin, you go in and then you see where the drivers are. I also use Rhino tracking but I don't like them for various reasons. I'm probably gonna cancel them. I have them in these devices in my trailers, but they use a lot of, you have to change batteries every few months, and I have to, bring the driver here and change it. And then if you want it in your truck, then, they have to connect it to your dashboard. So I am not really happy with them, but Keep Trucking is good, and I use it for my ELDs. Started working for a trucking company as a dispatcher about a month ago. At this moment, I'm having trouble finding which areas are good and which are bad for driver to go. If you can make a video, something to this, that would be really appreciated. I did make a video about routing your drivers based on available loads and hours of service, and then I'll leave that here in description as well, that video. But I think he's more specific about like what areas are good, what areas are bad. Yeah, I could make a video about that. Just keep in mind that it changes a little bit. Sometimes like if you have a good area now, it doesn't mean that in a few months it will still be a good area. And if you have a bad area now, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be a bad area. It might be less bad or more bad, the right word is worse, but you get my point. Like if you send your trucks to Florida and it's a bad area, and then it's always going to be a bad area, it's going to be tough to find a load. But then sometimes, like you have the, reefers that go there and, pick up watermelons, then it's a good area for them, like depends on the season. And then automatically we have better loads for drivers. And then same thing with East Coast. Like a couple of years ago, if you go to East Coast, the loads would be paying like from East Coast like $1 a mile or $1.50. Now loads from East Coast pay more, like $2-3 a mile, sometimes even more. So, but yeah, there are general areas where people like to go and they don't like to go, not just because of the pay, but because of the tolls, mountains, low bridges, congested areas. So yeah, I could make a video about that. Hey, can you get authority for both US and Canada? Yes, I left here in that comment a link. There's a website that tells you how to do that. I've never wanted to go to Canada, and I don't even know how that works. But yeah, there is a way to do that. I'm the wrong person to ask that, because I could do the same as you would. I could go online and look it up myself, and you can do the same thing. Me personally, I don't have any experience with that. Now let me go to my email and then take a look at some of these questions that I saved here. Hi, I have some questions regarding becoming a freight trucking dispatcher. It is something I'm interested in pursuing. However, initially I cannot afford to quit my job. I'm working somewhat full-time Monday to Thursday, 8 to 5. Is it realistic that I can be successful making at least $3,000 per month dispatching while maintaining my job? Yeah, I don't think this will work. If you have a full-time job, even though you're off Fridays, and then to make $3,000 per month, that'd be like making, you divide by 4, like $750 a week. And to make $750 a week, you probably need a couple of owner-operators. So with two trucks, it's probably, I'm sorry to say that it probably won't work. I mean, you can try it and see how it works, but then it might just become too stressful for you and for them. What I would do, if you really want to become a dispatcher, I would maybe try to set up everything and then take some time off, like unpaid leave or maybe even a vacation, and then see how that's working for you. And once you have these two trucks, and it's not easy to get those trucks, so you have to get that before you take that vacation or time off, and then you could probably, you know, shoot for like 4 to 5 trucks. I don't know what you do, you know, but you know, with 5 trucks, you know, you could easily make like at least couple of grand a week, and then you have potential to grow to even more. You know, you can hire people, but yeah, that's my answer. And then this guy is writing in my language. He's starting to work for a company in Florida, and they are training him to become a dispatcher, and he's starting with a night shift from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. or is it the other way? But it says here night shift. So I should have, in like 3 or 4 months, you know, once I get some training, I should get a position of a dispatcher to cover 1 to 3 trucks. And then he's asking me if I would like to make a video about like what kind of equipment I use, like a phone, a computer monitor, and all that. And then like I probably will make that video soon. Hi, I'm one of your subscribers on YouTube. Thank you. And I just want to ask you about dispatching, if you're willing to help me out. Carrier broker package, setting up with broker, setting up with the new carrier owner operators, some little glimpse, if you can explain it to me, would be perfect. Well, I did the carrier packet in how to start a trucking company. I talked in that video a little bit about a carrier packet. So when you set up with a broker, they usually have their own packet. You have to fill it out, you know, read the contract, fill it out, send them your insurance, and then in your packet, what you need is your insurance, your current liability and cargo insurance. You need your authority, if you have one, and if you have a SCAC code, you can put that into your references, like the companies you worked with who can vouch for you, and that's basically about it, what you can put in your packet. As far as new carrier owner operator, I'm assuming he's asking like if you're a dispatching company and you want to set up a packet with the owner operator, you can go online and look for dispatching carrier owner operator packet. Try to find like that. Like I said before, I'm working on a new course, and I don't have that much time, and then it will be all of that will be in that video. And then I have this guy who asked me, he wanted to dispatch a box truck of 16 feet, and then at the end, I guess he realized that it's not worth it. You know, with these small trucks, small vans, sprinter vans, they have different load boards for that. Like, you know, Selectus is one of them, but Selectus is very expensive, very expensive. It's hard to get into it, and you have to establish those relationships. It takes a long time. It would be best if you can talk to someone who has it, and then and I don't have it, who can kind of let you use it. Usually, you know, they have those expedite loads for those. Or these guys, and I had a small truck like that a long time ago, and I was doing local deliveries. You can do packages or medical, and like now we have these Amazon deliveries. You know, they do that. But with a small 16-foot truck, you know, I don't have the expertise for that. And then he was asking me how to figure out like the maximum weight that you can put on that truck. So this goes for all trucks, not just small truck, but all trucks. Like you read on the side on the door, like when you open up the door, or in the book for the truck, you see what the GVWR is, and that stands for gross vehicle weight rating, and that's the maximum weight that that truck can weight, including the truck itself, the load, the payload they call it also, the driver and the fuel. So that the maximum weight, now for this small truck, it was 14,500 pounds. Then you have to look at the axle weight, like axle limit. In semi trucks that we do, the maximum weight on the steer tire, that's the front axle, is 12,000 pounds. And then the rear axle on the truck is 34,000 pounds. And the trailer is 34,000 pounds. So altogether, the truck can be, when it goes to a scale, the whole weight of the truck with the load cannot be more than 80,000 pounds. It has to be less, but that's the absolute maximum. And you have the weight limits on your axles too. So when you weigh your load, then you have to pay attention to that too. So it's very hard. You would have to have a perfect load to go to 80,000 pounds and then be legal on your axles too. Because if the load is heavier at the front or heavier at the back, then you may have, let's say you may have a gross weight of 78,000 pounds on your truck, which is legal, but then your rear axle on your drive tires on your truck in the back of the tractor are 36,000 pounds. So that's already 2,000 pounds over the limit on that axle. And then same goes with these small trucks. So you have to figure it out. How do you figure it out? Well, you get the empty weight of the truck. For example, our trucks are anywhere from 30,000 pounds up to like 33,000 pounds empty with the tractor and the trailer. So that's the empty weight. You know, you can go to a scale, have your driver fill up the tanks all the way up, and then have the driver inside when they're weighing the empty truck. So let's say they are 32,000 pounds. That's the weight. And if you can be 80,000 pounds maximum weight, then you deduct those 32,000 pounds from 80,000 pounds. Now you have the maximum weight of the load figured out, and that's 48,000 pounds. So the maximum weight that you can put on this truck legally is 48,000 pounds. Now most loads go to up to like 45,000 pounds. So you would think like, okay, 45,000 pounds is the weight of the load, and then your truck is weighing empty 32,000 pounds, and then that's 77,000 pounds for the total truck. And then you're thinking, well, you know, I still have 3,000 pounds, you know, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is, like I said before, you can never load the truck evenly, you know, it cannot be perfect. Some trucks weigh more at the front or in the back, or like if the fifth wheel on the back of the truck is moved, and then you can slide the tandems on your trailer. So when they load you with 45,000 pounds, you know, you go to a scale, and then if the load is not even, then you may be overweight on one of the axles. You know, all three of these axles, like you could be overweight. And when the driver goes there, and then the trailer is 1,000 pounds, like it should be 34,000 pounds on the tandem at most, and then it's 35 now. Even though this load, you know, is still legal, but the tandems in the back have too much weight on them. So what the driver can do, if the tandems on the back are you know, too heavy, then he can slide them. You can slide those tandems to the back of the trailer, you know. So like if you have this is the trailer, and this is the back of the trailer. If he moves the tandems to the back, then it will put less weight on those tandems, because that weight will, like the drive axle of the trailer will take over some of that weight, you know. So that's kind of a bit complicated for you if you have never done it, but if you're a driver, you know, after a few times you will figure it out. But what I'm trying to tell you here is like how to figure out the maximum weight. But then even if you have the maximum weight, keep in mind that the axles have certain weight limits too. And yeah, I just don't want to talk too much. I've been already, my mouth is getting dry. So as soon as I get more questions, you know, I hope to make another video like this and then answer them for you. And I hope you're learning something. And if you don't mind, click the like button, share the video, and become a subscriber of Never Stop Trucking. I'll see you around.